when I look at the stats, and make me so sad. And this bottom quote by Dr. Katz from Yale says, "Our children are more harmed by poor diet than exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined." So that's really shocking. I mean, what we have in our kitchen could be more harmful than all these things on the bottom that we would agree are not good things. So what's going on with our food? 50% of what we eat is processed, and it's some crazy stat like 70% of what's on our shelves did not even exist 50 years ago. So what my grandparents, what we eat today, my grandparents didn't even have on their shelves. But what about our produce? Our produce is losing its nutrition. You can see down the bottom, broccoli could lose 50 to 80% of key nutrients before you purchase it. And why would that be? Some of it's because the produce is harvested before it's ripened on the vine. If the produce is ripened on the vine, then it gets its full nutrients, its full nutrition. If not, then it's not going to have all those nutrients that we need. Also, our food is harvested and put on a truck, and it's driven across the country, and while it's sitting on the truck, it's losing its nutrition. I know where I shop, the lettuce comes in a bag, and it has a date of when it was, harvested. And usually it's about 2 weeks before I'm buying it. So it's losing a lot of its value. And it's also sprayed with pesticides and other things like that. So our food is not as nutritious as it used to be. And here's a word that some of us are probably we're familiar with, antioxidants. So let's talk about that, oxidative stress and antioxidants. So oxidative stress is just your body and your cells aging. And everybody has this happen. If you breathe, then you're oxidizing. It's kind of like the brown side of the apple. When you cut fruit, it starts to oxidize and turn brown. But if you squirt the apple with the lemon juice with the antioxidants, it preserves, right? It keeps the apple fresh, keeps it from aging. And that's what we want to do with our body. Our body is aging, and we want to put these antioxidants to help preserve our body. And here's a fancy word, phytonutrients. It just means plant nutrients. And this is what our body needs. And I know right now there's a lot of talk about multivitamins. People are really trying to stock up on those. But if you look at a multivitamin label, you'll see that there's probably maybe like 2 dozen or so ingredients on the label. And there's synthetic chemicals that have been produced in a lab. Where if you look at a piece of fruit, again, we have an apple here. This is a list of 300 of the 10,000 nutrients that are actually in an apple, which is incredible. So you could eat the multivitamin and get some things that are synthetics, they're chemicals that made in the lab, or you can eat whole food that has this synergy. It has all these ingredients, nutrients that work together. I heard a scientist explain it recently where, let's say like vitamin C, you have a multivitamin and a piece of fruit, and they have maybe the same number of hydrogens and oxygens as each other, but the multivitamin, it's arranged differently than how the atoms are arranged in the fruit, and so your body doesn't recognize it the same way. Our bodies were made to recognize food and its synergy and the other ingredients that are with it. I hope that makes sense, but let's focus on fruits and vegetables. So how many fruits and vegetables should we really be eating? It used to be the number was 5, and now they're saying more like 7 to 13, which seems like a crazy high number. And why the change in the number? Well, the change is because of the slide we talked about earlier, where our food quality is decreasing. And so now we need to eat more. It feels kind of impossible. I know vegans who can't eat 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables, and a serving is your fist size. And down here it says experts agree that most diseases are preventable with good nutrition. And I'm seeing this everywhere I go, that doctors and researchers are now saying that really 80% of disease is preventable. Really only about 20% is based on your genetics, on what you've inherited from so that's really encouraging to know that you do have a lot of say. You don't have to just be tied to your ancestry. So how in the world were you going to get 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables? Oh, and also I should mention, if you're an athlete, you should have more like 15 servings, or if you're sick, you're fighting some sort of chronic illness, you need something like 15 servings. Well, this is a really wonderful way to get more fruits and vegetables into your diet. It's called Juice Plus, and you can see this wide variety of fruits and vegetables. It's the rainbow of colors. We're learning that it's not just quantity that matters, but quality. So we don't really need 5 pounds of broccoli. We really need a lot of different things in our diet. And I know if you're like me, you kind of eat the same things all the time. Like, I don't even know where to get a bilberry. I've never had a black currant. But here with Juice Plus, I'm getting these things in my diet. And they also, when they process it, they harvest the produce right as it's vine ripened. It doesn't have any pesticides or anything like that sprayed on it. It's completely organic. They're very stringent with their growing procedures. They flash freeze it, they pulverize it. They pulverize the peel, the stem, everything, which is really cool because, like folate, our bodies need folate, and that's actually found in lemon peel. But I'm not going to eat lemon peel. But they've put the peel into the concentrate. Also, like oranges, the vitamin C is really found in the peel more than the pulp of the orange. And so you're getting all the peels and the stems of the pineapple and things like that. So it's pulverized and put into a capsule or a really yummy gummy. And it's gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, clean, no pesticides. And it's really the goal is to bridge the gap of what you are eating to get to what you should be eating. They don't want you to take Juice Plus and not eating more fruits and vegetables. They just want you to eat this on top of your diet. And what we're finding is that people are putting Juice Plus in their bodies, and they're starting to crave a better variety and quantity of fruits and vegetables, because we know that what you put in your body you'll crave. It's called metabolic programming. So if you eat Doritos, you crave Doritos, right? If you put in fruits and vegetables, you will start to crave fruits and vegetables. So there's a lot of products out there that people are talking about. So why would you buy Juice Plus? What makes it different? Well, there's a couple of things. And first of all, it's food. It's not a multivitamin. It's not synthetics. It's real living food. And it has a food label. So when you look on the back of the bottle or the package, it'll look like the label that's on the bag of carrots or frozen broccoli. It has no additives. There's no GMO stuff in there. It's dairy-free, gluten-free, very, very clean. And they are fastidious about these products and keeping them pure and clean. Secondly, it has an NSF certification, which is just like a third party. It's kind of like the police. They just make sure that what you say is in your product is actually in your product. The FDA doesn't regulate supplements, so really anybody can put whatever they want to in a jar and sell it. And so the NSF certification just certifies that we are selling you and feeding you what we say we are feeding you. And athletes, like Olympic athletes, look for this type of certification, and this is why so many Olympic athletes, professional athletes use our product. Also, it's the most researched nutritional product in the world. It says 35, but now it's actually 41 published clinical studies. They're done in major hospitals and universities around the world. And this is really why doctors are willing to recommend it to their patients and feed it to their families. And the research part is really important to me. And I'll share a little bit about that in a sec. So here's the research. If you're into that, you can see the method here: randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled. So it's like bona fide research. This is not done in like the basement of the Juice Plus building. They've sent this research out. It's done at Wake Forest, Vanderbilt. So some of them you see are here in our states. Some of them are overseas. And what does the research tell us? Well, these are some of their results. I'll let you read over this list. It's quite a big list. One that jumps out to me right now, just because of what's going on in our country, is that we have 5 studies that show that Juice Plus supports your immune system. Also oxidative stress, we talked about that. And the last one is says it's absorbed by the body, and I'm going to share a little bit about that. But I love what Dr. Richard Dubois says at the bottom here. There is nothing else available any place in the world with or without a prescription that has been clinically proven to do what Juice Plus has been proven to do. And there's like over 4,000 doctors, some crazy number like that, 3, 4, or 5,000 that recommend Juice Plus. So I love that we have doctors and they work on our teams and help us educate people So this last one, it says absorbed by the body. And the fancy word for that is bioavailable. And if you go on our website, which Merrill has a website, and she can send it to you, and you can see all our products, the pricing, you can read all the ingredients, and you can read all the research studies. And it will say bioavailable. And what that means, it's absorbed by your body. And why that's important to me is because of my health journey that I've been on. About 5 years ago, I pretty much fell apart. We moved across the country. It was a high stress time for everybody in our family. It was a very lonely time for our family. My diet, I did eat fruits and vegetables, definitely not enough. And I had a really high sugar diet because I was thin and I could work it off and metabolize it. So I thought, okay, I'm healthy. This is great. My blood work was always good. I looked healthy, but I was always catching colds and things, really my whole life. And then suddenly I was getting something every month. And then I started having symptoms all over my body, like IBS symptoms and some gynecological things, and this horrible fatigue that didn't matter how much I slept. I just felt like someone had punched me in the eyes, like jet lag almost. And it was really scary. And I was having a hard time just getting up and homeschooling my children. And, you know, my husband was busy and had a big job, and it was just rough. And so after many months, I was diagnosed with leaky gut, which is a precursor to autoimmune issues. And I thought, oh my, okay, here we go. And so I removed a lot of inflammatory foods from my diet, made sure I was drinking enough water, sleeping, doing all those things that we talked about at the beginning. And I was taking a lot of expensive supplements. And after a number of months, there wasn't much change. And we moved across the country like we do in the military, and got a new doctor, and I took more expensive supplements. And again, not a whole lot of change. And this was a really low part of my life, a very hard part. Felt very, very discouraged. Didn't know what else really to do. I was reading like every functional medicine doctor at the Cleveland Clinic, was doing all the things that they were saying, but my life was just really living me. I wasn't living life. And about this time, the Lord was very gracious to bring a really sweet friend into my life who had had a bunch of autoimmune issues herself. And she had fibromyalgia, thyroid, I think it's called Hashimoto's, what she had. She had IBS. She had a wide gamut of things. And she was trying to juice to get her body enough nutrients because she's a nurse and she knew that she needed to feed her body better. But the juicing was messy and expensive, and so someone had introduced her to Juice Plus as a way to get some extra produce into her body. And I had never really heard this, that you needed 7 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables. And I thought, oh, this is new. This is interesting because I've removed all these foods, but I haven't really added like sufficient quantities or these huge quantities of produce. So she showed me that there was research, and that one of the research studies, or actually 9 of the research studies, show that Juice Plus will actually absorb into your body. And I thought, oh, okay, this is good. So I decided I'd try it for a year. And after 4 months, I stopped getting sick all the time, like with colds and stuff, which was thrilling. And then after about 8 or 9 months, all my autoimmune issues started to fade away. And I was just so very grateful to have my life back and to have energy. It was like a gift, really a gift of hope that this friend had given to me. And really immediately I had a mammogram because I turned 40, and they found a small area of breast cancer. I think it was slow growing and it was small, and we found it early. But of course that was a huge shock because we don't really have those risk factors in our family. But again, it wasn't a shock in the sense that I knew my body had been in this state of high alert for about 2 years. You know, my cortisol levels were probably nuts and my hormones and all that. So anyway, what was really interesting is that I had been on Juice Plus for about a year, I guess. And during my treatment, I had a lumpectomy and radiation, and it felt great. I recovered from my surgery way faster than I thought. And the radiation, it really didn't feel bad. And I didn't get tired like they told me I would. And I really think this is just God's grace in my life, and also just flooding my body with proper nutrition, with the fruits and vegetables that my body needed to keep going. So now I love to think of my story as not a sick story, but a prevention story. I've shifted from the sickness to being just thinking about prevention. And Juice Plus was just a catalyst for change for me. It's helped me work on my diet, helped me break some sugar addictions, like I mentioned before, and things like that. It didn't all happen at once. I just started taking the capsules a couple years ago, and then very slowly over time made really positive change. And having a community of people to help me and educate me has been really wonderful. So now I just want to give my body the best possible environment, right, to flourish. I think that's what we all want to do. So keep my body in an alkaline state, not an acidic state. So I hope this is encouraging to you in some way. You may not resonate with this at all. You know, maybe you're in really good health, but I hope that if you're, you know, fighting something and discouraged, I hope that this will encourage you to know that there are things you can do to take steps forward and really to move forward and hope. The next thing, it has to do with kids. Everyone wants to talk about kids, right? So this is a buy one, get one. But speaking of kids, I see one right there. This is a buy one, get one that our company offers to any adult who signs up. They can have a child get Juice Plus for free for 4 years. The children just need to be between the ages of 4 and 18, or they could be an undergrad college student. And here are some of the results that we've seen from this. You know, less missed days of school, less prescription medicines, things like that. My kids have both participated in this. My younger daughter and I started on this together a couple of years ago, and then my older daughter, about a year or so, 2 years ago, said, wait a minute, you and Maggie are always well now, and I'm the one getting sick. And so she actually asked for Christmas to have Juice Plus because she was so fed up with being sick, and because she knew that her daddy, if she put it on her Christmas list, her daddy would have to say yes. So I signed my husband up so she could get it for free. And she was just telling me the other day she couldn't remember the last time she was sick. And so that is a huge, huge blessing in our lives. If they do get sick, like Maggie had something in the fall, but it didn't last that long. It wasn't that big of a ordeal, and I'm really grateful for good health. It's helped with skin issues, heartburn, constipation. It's helped my kids eat a wider palate of fruits and vegetables. Like we talked about before, you crave what you put in. So let's see, we also have a plant-based, all our products are plant-based. This one's an omega. I feel like people are talking about omegas all of a sudden. A lot of omegas are just omega-3. Ours is a balanced panel of omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9, and it's not made from fish. I didn't really know this until a few years ago, but omegas are actually found in algae. It's just the fish eat the algae. So Juice Plus got clever and decided to skip the fish and go straight to the algae. And what we're finding is that people are having great results with like their heart, their brain, like foggy brain, memory issues, their joints, you know, less aches and pains, skin and eyes. My husband's had 3 knee surgeries in 20 years, and I put him on the omegas last summer, and he hasn't complained about his knees since. So I'm a believer in that. We have a yummy smoothie powder. It's also plant-based. You can read what's in it. And one thing I really like is that it's high in fiber, because fiber is what keeps our blood sugar from crashing and feeling like we want to eat everything in the house. Comes in chocolate or vanilla, and you can make smoothies with it. You can bake with it. People add it to their oatmeal, all sorts of things you can do with it. But it's a very clean, doesn't have a lot of, it doesn't have any extra junk. There's a lot of smoothie products out there that there's a lot of added ingredients, synthetics, artificial stuff. Ours does not have that. So you can eat this, drink this, and feel good about what you're putting in your body. I don't know if you've seen these. This originated in Epcot. It's called the Tower Garden, and then Juice Plus bought the patent for it. And these are going like hotcakes right now because people are concerned about who's touching their food, where their food's coming from, and also because people are bored. And this is a really fun thing you can do with your family, either you can either grow it outside or inside with the lights. So, and people who say they're terrible at gardening are doing really well with this. It's really easy for folks to do, and kids love experimenting with this and growing things. So one thing I like about Juice Plus is that it is affordable, because if you buy a lot of produce, you know, produce costs a lot. If you buy organic produce, you know, organic produce costs a lot of money. So for $2.50 a day, you can get this trio. We call this the trio. It's the fruit, berry, and veggie blends. This is what I started off with, and then I added the omega a while back, and then the complete mix too. but it's about the same price as if I went to Starbucks and got a plain Jane cup of coffee or a cup of tea. It's like $2.40 or something. So what I did is that I was concerned about how we would fit it in our budget, and I just got rid of some junk food and kind of rearranged our food budget and was able to work it out that way. And we have free resources. There's a website, if you want to write this down, it's called healthylivingrevolution.com, healthylivingrevolution.com, and Merrill can send this to you if you don't write it down and you want it. But there's free cookbooks. There is a home fitness series with all sorts of home workouts, yoga, Pilates, interval training. I like to do those in the winter when I'm stuck in the house. And also webinars. There are tons of webinars by medical professionals, and they cover brain health, gut health, anxiety and depression, just a wide gamut of health issues. So I've loved watching those. It's really been educational for me. So I encourage you to look that website up. So just to wrap up, we would love to invite you to join us. We would love to invite you to try our products, to become a Juice Plus customer. Whether you resonate with the sick story or the well story, right? Whether you are just into prevention and know that you don't eat enough fruits and vegetables and really want to give your body the best possible shot, hoping your cells flourish, or whether you're fighting something chronic. Juice Plus doesn't claim to heal anybody. We can't make claims that if you take this, you won't have this issue or it'll fix your whatever. But what we do know is what the research says. And then what we also know is that when people flood their bodies with good nutrition, they start to see positive change in their life. Secondly, you could become a customer and become a partner, like Merrill and I. Maybe you're thinking, yeah, I want to be a customer and I want to share this with my mom, my sister, whoever. You could become a partner and share with a handful of people, and you could start making a commission. You could start paying for your own products. And this is really what I started off doing. I joined the company just because I wanted all of it. I wanted to take all the products. I wanted my family to have all the products, and it's kind of taken off from there. Thirdly, you could build a side income. What would you do with a little extra money? Right now, we're seeing a lot of benefit, right, from having a job that you can do from your house and an extra residual line of income. Some people work for Juice Plus and they've grown this into like a full business that they support their family on, which is pretty amazing. And I love our company. I love the integrity that our company has. I love the community. The people are positive and encouraging and helpful. We're into educating people. We're not just into products. We're really into educating people so they know how to take care of their bodies, how to be healthier, how to feel good. So we would love to share with you and have you join us on this mission. And we call this our gift of hope that we share with other people. So I also wanted to let you know that we do have a nurse on our team, the retired nurse. Actually, I mentioned her when I gave my story. She does free consultation calls, doesn't obligate you to anything, but if you would like to kind of talk about if you have a chronic illness or something like that, she's got 20 years really in the wellness industry and of coaching and counseling people with medical issues. So we can set that up with her. Merrill can be on there if that makes you feel more comfortable, however you like. But I just want to make sure you're aware of that. So I am going to stop my share here. Yeah.
Is everybody? Hey.
Let me unmute everybody if I can figure out how to do that. Hold on.